from my watch timeline. That's sexy. Anyway, so do you think it's possible to fuck around and not catch feelings?
I do.
Okay.
I do, but we do need to regress back to our original topic is, are you emotionally intelligent?
Yeah.
Or are you emotionally distant? You know
Correct.
what I mean? Or do you understand yourself? Primarily is, do you have emotions for yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have the feelings, for yourself is what I'm trying to say.
What do you mean? Like, what kind of feelings for yourself do you mean?
Self-love.
Okay.
Self-love.
Yeah.
Because if, like, both of us, we're both single,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we understand our priorities. We both see where we want to go in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy for us to kind of check ourselves. Hey, I'm catching feelings or I'm not.
Yeah.
And you know when to stop. You know to have a conversation with the other person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't do that. So a lot of
Yeah.
people can't do that because one, they can't have a conversation with themselves first.
About it.
Yes, they
Yeah.
can't have a conversation with themselves first.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, you're catching feelings. Like, you either need to set boundaries or you need to just cut them off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're leading astray
Mm-hmm.
to what your life is like. Or the alternative is you don't have a conversation with yourself. You don't have a conversation with them. Things get complicated and your life is like a bag blowing in the wind. It's not going in any direction you want it to go. So that's my personal opinion. What do you think?
I think it is very much possible, to fuck around and not catch feelings, but people have to be honest about where they're whether this is going to be a one-time thing, and then we hit it and quit it and never see each other again, or if this is all it's going to be, and then we're in agreement about that. But then I think what happens a lot now, in dating culture, we're both on Tinder, right? Mm-hmm. I see this a lot where guys will say, even girls will be like, I don't want anything serious. And then you guys start hanging out and they're like, but wait, maybe I do want something serious. So then they start throwing all that in there and you're like, yo, what is this? Right?
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the point where they're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take them serious, and they get in their heads and then they start acting like assholes.
Who? The guy or the girl?
Both.
Oh, okay.
They both start doing that. And I'm just I see it happening over and over, and it creates this cyclical, almost like a pain cycle. But because people don't have that self-love, they don't have that self-awareness to be this is what I want, this is what I need, these are my boundaries.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So, at some point, more often than not, I had somebody ask me the other day, so how's this app working out for you? And I was like, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just not.
It's not. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with the culture down here. Mm-hmm. Because again, dating outside of the valley is very different. It's very different. For example, down here, for some reason, you can have a fuck buddy, and then at some point the line gets real blurry, and then next thing you know, you met their parents. For some reason.
That's excessive.
Yeah, it is. But it's happened to me plenty of times.
Really?
Yes. And I'm just like, okay.
But do they sneak it up on you, or you agree to it?
It's a combination of both things.
Okay.
It's a combination of both things. Let's say, for example, you're hooking up with this person, and then all of a sudden Valentine's Day comes along, or Easter, and they're just like, hey, I'm with my family. Do you want to come and hang out? You know what I mean? Then maybe we can mess around after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the line gets real blurry, and then you're just like, okay, I can't, neither one of us can tell what's going on, and that's where you need to step back. One of them has to be the adult and be like, well, are you paying attention to what you're doing? You're trying to introduce me to your family.
Yeah.
What do you want exactly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you're just trying to guilt trip somebody onto that. Whereas outside of the valley, you can meet somebody's parents and it doesn't mean anything.
Correct.
It doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
It really, you, and even the parents know that. She's like, okay, maybe you guys are hooking up, or maybe you are steady. We don't know. That's none of our business. Our kids they're adults.
Yeah.
They're being treated like adults, and they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless whether you have anything to do with my daughter or not, you're part of the family because it's Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But down here, it's a big symbol. You know what I mean?
Is.
A lot of things mean a lot of different things here versus the valley. So. Dating culture down here is different because culture down here is different, right? So that's my approach is, yes, you can screw around without catching feelings, but that does not depend on the other person.
It depends on you.
It depends on you.
Yeah.
It depends on you. And we've spoken about this. People don't want to take responsibility for their emotions. They don't want to take responsibility for themselves. Yeah.
It's really, really hard. You know, and I have found so far that, like, when you draw a boundary with someone, any kind of boundary, trying to date down here, they take it as either you're being too aggressive or you're just very distant and cold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I had someone that was like, because I am so busy, they were like, oh, like, I want to come watch you at one of your games and, like, be supportive. And I was like, I've never met you before. And, like, you want to come to one of my games?
Something intimate. That's intimate.
Yeah, and, like, you want to meet my coworkers? I was like, I'm not going to mix my private and my public life.
Yeah, that's intimate. That's an intimate thing.
And they were like, oh, like, I didn't mean to, like, offend you. I was like, you're not being offensive. Like, I'm just telling you, like, this is where I draw the line.
They don't know how to read the room.
Yeah.
And that's already a red flag.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
We are not the same.
Yeah. You're already blurring the line, or you don't know where the line is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. That makes a lot of sense to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about I feel like dating down here is also a bit of a problem because there's a term going around that's like trending hard.
What is it?
It's called simp. Do you know what simp is?
No.
When a man is a simp, it's when a man is a simpleton and he appeals to his primitive instincts. And he only, like, let's say, for example, if a woman is being a thirst trap,
okay,
a man is falling for it.
Yeah.
That's what's called being a simp.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm gonna throw that all the way around.
Yeah. So that's kind of a thing. Another approach to understanding what a simp is when a man not necessarily tries too hard, because there's a difference. There's a difference between a man that tries too hard and a man that does a power move.
Yeah.
For example, let's say, you and me, we go out to eat, and the guy comes in with the tab, or it's time to pay, we're about to leave, and I'm just like, hey man, just pay for it. I don't even want to see the tab, just pay for it. It's fine, don't worry about it. And you know what I mean? That's a power move.
That is a power move.
That's a power move, you know what I mean? And it's not to impress you, it's like, hey, we're having a great night.
I don't want to be bothered by this.
I don't want to be bothered by this, and I don't want you to be bothered by this, because we're better than that. We're adults. It's a power move.
I respect that.
Yeah, a simp, on the other hand, would kind of blow it out of proportion, or get her roses and like try too hard. Because I mean, first date, roses, chocolate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Buy her clothes, an article of clothing of some sort. That's a simp. A simp move versus a power move is where it matters. You know what I mean?
Like the simp moves are really unattractive to me.
So now you get the difference, right? So the problem is, Latinas have a very thirst trap attitude, and they should. They're bombshells. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're powerful. A woman is. I've spoken with Senator before. Women are powerful, man. They have this magnetism like the sun, and they're radiant. They're very strong to look at, and they have a gravity. But it's a problem when you don't know how to control that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you want to control a woman. I'm just saying you want to harness that energy. You know what I mean? A simp falls for it. Is what I'm saying.
Hard.
Falls for it hard, and they go blind by looking at the sun, you know, AKA the woman. They go blind looking at the sun because it's so magnificent, and they don't know where they're going. They're not themselves. They become spineless. You know what I mean? They don't have a way to say, hey, no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a simp move. So that's kind of a problem, because Latinas down here and in dating culture is very thirst trap, creating simps. But really, honestly, you don't want to blame the women for that. It's the men for falling for that shit.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you two experiences that I've had with like the definition that you're providing with me, and I find it hard to believe that I'm perpetuating that type of behavior.
Okay.
So, one, like I like posted like photos from my birthday, right? And like this one dude was just coming in heavy in the DMs, just like heavy. And I was like, okay, like I get you're flirting or whatever, right? Yeah. First was keeping it clean. Within 2 hours, I had a dick pic video waiting for me in my DMs. And I was like, look, bro, at no point in any of this interaction did I ask to see your dick, or did I imply that I wanted to see your dick.
But he fell for it. He became a simp.
Yeah.
Your magnetism. Yeah.
But like,
that's a simp move.
at no point did I indicate that me speaking to you means I want to see your penis. Like,
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, and this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to blame the women for that, because that's not. You don't blame the sun for being hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't.
It just is.
You don't blame the sun for being for blinding you. You blame the person staring and not knowing to look away when it becomes dangerous.
It's like, can they just act right though?
Right. And but think about it this way. What if they did act right and then but real deep down they're a simp? You know what I mean? That should be a red flag.
Yeah.
The fact that he sent a dick pic, it sucks, but you're like, okay, now I know.
It was a video.
But you're like, now I know.
Yeah.
To like that this guy needs to be set aside. He has nothing else he can offer because he thinks that's all that you want. And then the worst part is he gave it to you in like the worst format ever.
I know.
We've talked about dick pics before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. It's the stupidest thing you could do.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, just stop.
It's not a power move, and they think it is.
I don't see how.
I don't see how either. I don't see how either. My approach. So let's say a dick pic is a simp move.
It is.
Right. It's a simpleton move. I want to just now say it the right way. It's a move of a simpleton. It's approaching to your primal instincts. A power move of the same magnitude is you want to get inside a woman's head. Not in a bad way. You want to manipulate them. No, you want to be in their thoughts. You know what I mean? You want them to think about you. You want them to be like, he smelled good. You know what I mean?
Like appealing.
Yes. Like, oh wow, he smelled really nice.
Yeah,
kind of want to smell him again. You know what I mean? Or you know what? He introduced me to this really nice song. And I want to listen to it again. You see, you're in their head, and the way so we achieve that. No dick pics, get in their head instead. So how do you do it? Here's a step-by-step guide.
I like that though. The dick pics get in their head instead.
Yeah. Because, and I've told you this before, is the best way to penetrate a woman from miles away is by being in their head, because that in a sense has made your dick the size of miles. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter where she is in the world. Yeah. You're gonna penetrate her 100%, and you're gonna do it as deep as possible. Yeah. Because you're in her head, and you didn't have to do anything about it. So how do you do that? How do if you're a guy out there listening, it's like, okay, how do I penetrate a woman in the deepest way without having to even touch her or even talk about sex? And the best way to do it is always appeal to the five senses. Always.
That's exactly, like earlier when you said smell, I thought about the five senses.
There you go. See, so always appeal to the five senses. Appeal to her sense of listening, whether it was a story that you told her about. You know what I mean? Maybe she reminded you of that. Appeal to her sense of music. Show her a song that she really liked, or share a song that she liked with you. You get the point. Yeah. Sense of smell. You always want to smell good. Your car always has to smell good. Your apartment always has to smell good. Your trash has to smell good. Everything has to smell good. Yeah. It has to have this appeal that it's just like, as soon as this girl comes into your house, she's smelling everything. Everything just smells great, right? Yeah. Because the olfactory senses, your sense of smell, is the strongest link to memory. Yes. That is the strongest link to memory. So you want to appeal to all the senses. You want to appeal to the sight. You want to always smile with her. You always want to smile to her, because that smile is going to trigger an emotional response.
I feel like you're giving them all the tips right now. Let it out.
It's because, so in short, you want to appeal to all the five senses. Yeah. Sense of touch. You know what I mean? You don't want to go straight into the hot areas. When you touch a woman, touch her in places where she's never been touched before, including her mind, and that's the spots that are going to stimulate her the most.
In your experience, what's an example of a place like where a woman's never been touched before?
I feel like where a woman has never been touched before, that a man can touch, but it's very difficult, is touching a woman intellectually.
I mean physically.
Physically?
Yeah.
Physically, there's a lot of places. There's a lot of places, but you also need to remember basic anatomy of the human body. For example, fingertips and the tips of your toes, hint, hint, they have a lot of nerve endings. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So go for the high nerve ending places.
Right. Go to high nerve endings or the very delicate places, even just the webbings in between your fingers. That's a very delicate place, and she'll never forget that, because that's something that's very strange, but she'll know that you've touched her in places.
Sorry. Like if the guy is just like rubbing the inside of my fingers, I'm gonna be like, what kind of like kinky shit is he into?
But you see, he's already making an impact.
Yeah.
He already made an impression. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You're already that's just proving my point exactly. Just the mere thought of somebody doing that to you is already making a very deep and profound impression. You know what I mean? And then the last sense that we haven't spoken about is a sense of taste.
Okay.
Sense of taste. And
that's
the most
super important.
And that's the most important.
Yeah.
Because again, take her out to a place that she's never tasted before, a place that she's never eaten before. Don't ever ask a woman, where do you want to eat?
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do that. Just don't do it. Because it's not about whether women are indecisive or not. It's not about that. This is your chance to be a voice of authority, and to take charge of the day.
Yeah.
And you gave the opportunity to her. You know what I mean? That is not a power move. A power move is like, hey, this is where we're going to eat.
Yeah.
And then if she says, oh, I don't
have something else on standby.
Yes, have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan C.
Yeah.
That's okay. Have a plan B, have a plan C. And then, you should just never ask, like, where do you want to eat? No. Just be like, okay, just because it's your turn, just because you should always pick where she should eat, doesn't mean you always have to take her to Olive Garden. Doesn't mean you always have to take her to Red Lobster.
Unless she's been telling you, like, I've been craving this, like, I've been wanting this, right?
Of course. Listen, definitely.
Yeah.
But most guys mistake that as, like, oh, it's a very big responsibility, and all of a sudden, but realistically, your girl wants to go to Cane's or Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
She wants those waffle fries, and she just wants you to say it so you guys can go together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay too. But the point is, that's a power move.
Exactly.
It's pick where to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And like for someone like myself, where I have to make so many decisions throughout the day.
Yes.
I make a lot of decisions. I have a lot of responsibility. By the time, like, if I'm gonna have that time with someone, I don't really want to have to be deciding.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I've dated an older woman, and she was the woman in charge of like an entire school.
Yeah.
Actually, like, the principal was beneath her.
Really?
Like, that's how. Yeah. I don't know what position she was, but do you know how satisfying it is as a man to tell a woman like that what to do?
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It feels great, and not only that, she wants to be told what to do. She wants to be told what to do. Especially the women that are the most dominant, they want to be told what to do because they have been in control and domineering all day. They don't want to come home to that too.
Yeah.
That's exhausting. That's life draining. They're going to be,
exactly.
How are they going to be a strong, independent woman when they ain't with a strong, independent man?
Exactly. So, like, at least for me, there's like a high level of trust that like when I give someone that space, it's like, I trust you with this, but the moment I see that you are not going to treat it with a certain level of respect that I'm giving you, I will remove it.
Yes. If you're not a man of action, a man of aptitude, a man of acumen and gravity to have that kind of position, and not only have it, enjoy it and take care of it.
Exactly.
You don't deserve it.
Correct.
You're a simp.
Yeah.
By the definition, unfortunately, you're a simp, bro. Like, that, deal with it. You know what I mean? You're gonna suffer like a simp, and you're gonna fall for all these thirst traps left and right, and then wonder why your life is not where you want it to be, or wonder why women come and go into your life. So to answer your question, yes, I definitely believe people can sleep around, but not catch feelings. But it's because they need to catch feelings for themselves.
Absolutely.
They need to catch feelings for themselves first before anything else can happen. And that's a responsibility people don't want to take.
Yeah, and I think there's also like, there needs to be a talk if you're going to be sleeping with someone consistently, so that way you guys are on the same page, right?
Yes.
And if you don't have a talk, then I think you're just setting yourself up to catch feelings and then get hurt. So you have to be like responsible and proactive. Now, if the other person doesn't want to have the talk, then obviously they just want to fuck around with you with no responsibility. Right. Because I've seen that happen.
Yes.
To people.
Or they're already fucking around with somebody else.
Yeah.
And there's no value, and that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
So you wanna have that kind of approach. I'm trying to remember a certain point that we brought up earlier, but it is gone.
You want to come back around? See
Yeah,
if it pops up?
I think we're gonna have to come back around.
Okay. So, like, we're different, like, when it comes to, like, dating culture and, like, expectations with other people, but people are very fast also in our culture.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just, like, something that people do now. It's like, you match with them, you guys start talking, and, like, 3 or 4 times a day, they're asking you, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, well, I'm working, or, like, I'm working.
I've never experienced that.
You haven't?
No.
I have. It's overbearing and annoying.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that. I think it's because I very quickly established that, like, I'm an alpha.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to talk about that, about being an alpha. I feel like the truest alpha isn't what people think an alpha is.
Correct.
Yeah, that's my, because the true alpha listens.
Mm-hmm.
And what most people think an alpha is it's loud and they dominate the room.
They're not.
No, a true alpha, because there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's even, when it comes to stoicism, a very, very strong practice that I indulge myself in. Stoicism, there is a beta male, which is obvious.
Mm-hmm.
There's an alpha male, and then there's a sigma male, which is actually a true alpha.
Mm-hmm.
The sigma oftentimes lets an alpha believe that they're an alpha, so they can have their reserved alpha-ness and manipulate the alpha to think that they are. That way they can take the heat, and the sigma can really benefit from that kind of almost symbiotic relationship.
Okay.
But when the time comes for somebody to take charge, he knows that the alpha will freeze and he needs to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I feel is like, an alpha that doesn't flex is a sigma. It's a true alpha. That's what I feel like. It's somebody that's compassionate, somebody that listens, somebody that's just like, okay, I'm gonna approach this as an opportunity, not a problem. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let this become an issue. So when it comes to youth coming into that problem of, like, people are very fast and they're always asking you, like, what are you doing? I've never run into that, because I feel like I very quickly, like, set the bar. Just like, hey, you don't fucking talk to me like that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm a man of very few words, when I do talk, it's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why you're running into that.
Yeah. I feel it's like because people want to establish in an odd way, I guess, that I just don't understand, that, like, they're attentive and they want to know, like, what's going on in my life and, like, what I'm doing, and they want to feel involved. But I work 60-hour weeks, you know, like, I'm involved in other things and I have other projects going on. So when someone's constantly like, what are you doing? I feel like it's them, like, saying, I want to know what you're doing. I want some of your time, without saying, hey, can you set some time, like, aside for me so I can spend time with you? There's
a big difference between the two. Yeah.
It's in the approach. So when you're constantly like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Waiting to see if I have some time available after I've told you, like, I'm hella busy. I'm like, I don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a very big turnoff.
Absolutely.
It's a very big turnoff.
Absolutely.
I see that now. And a lot of the times when people are constantly asking you what you're doing is because they're not doing enough with their own lives.
Absolutely.
With their own lives. And you can tell right away. When, like you and me, there's times that we don't talk to each other all day.
Correct.
Because we know we got tons of shit to do.
Yeah.
And we can pick up right where we left off and then just catch up and, like, record a show, you know, very quickly. Because we've got other shit to do.
Yeah.
And we hardly ever ask each other, what are you doing? You know, we just, like, we drop in and be like, hey, are you busy Friday? Because I've got some time.
Yeah.
That I think that's the better approach if you're one of those people. So this is a good thing for your listeners. If you're one of those people that is constantly asking somebody, what are you doing? Instead of asking what you're doing, let somebody know when you're free. When you're free, do you have time on set? You know, like, hey, I ended up not going to work late today. Did you want to grab something to eat later on tonight? Yeah, that is, you're taking responsibility to be like, hey, I'm free tonight. Would you like to join me? There's a difference between, like, hey, are you free tonight so you can come with me?
Yeah.
There's a difference. It's reversed. Yeah, it's very different. Yeah.
And I feel like that's more of a power move.
Yes.
You know, but then again, like, not a whole lot of women are like me. Not a whole lot of women are going out there getting it, like, on the grind all the time. So a lot of these guys just aren't used to that. They're used to, like, these more beta females.
Yes.
So if you're trying to go for an alpha, my dudes, listen. you know, because we're on it, we're busy, we're trying to make shit happen.
Yeah. And I want to talk about something I heard on TikTok of this guy, and he talks a lot about power moves, and I want to forgive him because he's like 18.
Oh, he's a baby.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Okay.
So what his version of power moves, he's very insightful, and he's right on a lot of power moves. Like for example, this isn't the one I want to reference, but like one power move that he had is like, okay, imagine you're taking a girl out on a date and you're gonna drive somewhere. Here's a power move, like, and remember, this isn't the one I'm referencing to, but it's an example.
Okay.
It's get your phone, unlock it, give it to the girl that you're with, and ask her to pick whatever music she wants for the ride.
Ooh.
You see what I mean? It's ballsy, right? Because it shows her not only that you have nothing to hide, that it's just like, hey, I'm gonna be upfront. If I'm fucking with other girls, you're gonna see it. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the power move. It's like you're telling the truth. Whether it's something you're uncomfortable with or not, you're ride or die to your resolve. That's respectful. That's respectful. That's very respectful. And if you're not with it, at least you knew the truth. You know what I mean? At least you knew the truth. Let's say, for example, if they end up in a relationship and it doesn't work out because he's too frivolous, he's gonna be like, listen, bitch, you knew from the beginning. Yeah. You knew from day one how I was. Yeah. You didn't like it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I understand it, but don't ever say that I didn't tell you or that you didn't know. Correct. That decision was your own.
You know, and I think like this kind of, we can tie this back to the catching feelings. If someone tells you that all y'all are going to do is fuck around, all y'all are going to do is fuck around. Yes. All right? Nothing beyond that. The moment that you feel like you want more out of it and you know the other person isn't going to align, stop it.
Right. Yeah. So now reference to the real power move that he brought up that I was like, yes, I agree with this kid, is he brought up a man winning an alpha female. Okay. He's like, okay, there's a lot of guys out there that want a girl that is winning at the game. She's an alpha. She's a top bitch.
So they don't want to take care of that.
Right. But here's why. Okay. Because think about it like this. Let's say it's a game, and this female that you want is winning, and she's constantly winning, and you do everything possible. You do the power moves. You do everything right to win her over, and you won her over. The problem is you won her over, and you think that just because you won her over once, you get to keep her. No, you need to win her over every
single day.
Every day. And that's what a simp doesn't realize. That's what most men in the valley. Yeah, that's what most men in the valley don't understand. They think, I'm gonna win her over. I'm gonna win her over once, and I got her. No, and then the worst part is when they realize they're losing her, they start doing emotional abuse. Yes. They start making her feel like she's nothing. They start trying to bring her down to a beta. And if she is a true alpha, which she probably is, she ain't gonna have any of that shit. And then the worst part is Chisme will blame her. Absolutely. They'll blame her. They'll be like, she couldn't handle a man like that, or she's a whore. You know what I mean? When realistically, she's an alpha. He was losing at the game, and she wants to keep winning. Absolutely. That's a power move. Absolutely. If you want an alpha, you have to be winning at the game every single day. Yeah. Every single day, you have to be a winner to keep a winner in your life.
And so, like, I see this a lot, and this is something that I tell people. I told a client today, you know, when it comes to the Chisme aspect of things, what anybody else has to say about you is none of your fucking business. Yep. It's none of your business. What matters is what you know about you, how you feel about you, and what you're doing to improve you.
It's your journey.
It's your journey, not anybody else's. They're not here or like, if they're not there to be part of your journey or to help you progress in your journey, what they have to say is invalid. Doesn't matter.
I agree.
You know, you validate yourself. You push yourself forward.
Self-love.
Self-love. You know, and I agree with what you just said because, I've experienced that. Yeah. You know, being an alpha female, they did whatever they did to win me over, but they did nothing to maintain it, right? So they started doing the emotional abuse, and I would call them on it. I'd say, I see what you're doing. That's not going to work on me. You're just pissing me off.
Yep. And you're gone. Yeah. You're gone. Boom, like that. Yep. Just like that, because you're an alpha. You're magnificent like the sun, and the world literally revolves around you. And when something tries to take you out of orbit, you're not going to have it.
No.
You're not going to have it. And that's
like, I was fine before you, I'm going to be fine after you.
Yes, exactly. And that's the approach every person should have, not just women, men.
Absolutely.
Alpha men, they should have that same approach. When a woman wins you over, she's got to stay winning. She can't get fucking comfortable. I don't care.
No.
I don't care what your excuses. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care if you get fat. I don't care if you quit your job, you quit school. I don't care. You need to keep winning. You need to keep winning.
Keep moving.
You have to keep moving forward. Both of you are alphas. You are by definition a power couple now, and you have to both be making power moves constantly. Nobody said this was going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it. Everybody could do it, and everybody would have an amazing power move like relationship. And that's just not the case. It's just not the case. But everybody wants it though.
They want it, but they don't know what it takes to get there.
Yeah, they don't know what it takes to get there.
Or they think they know what it takes to get there, but it's very toxic and it's unhealthy, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. So to answer your question is, let's go back to that. Is, do you think, dating culture, if people can fuck around and still be, single, or if they can be, well, I'm trying to reframe.
Not be attached to each other.
Right, there you go. Not be attached to each other. It's because they have to be attached to themselves. Absolutely. It sounds self-centered. But if you're not a person of self-confidence and self-love, of course it sounds self-centered. Because you were raised by somebody that was a beta, to be a beta. You were not raised to be an alpha. Because, and you know what I mean? You just weren't raised to love yourself and then to remember, hey, yo, like, I gotta stay humble and I have to listen. I have to listen to people and I have to keep winning. Like, you know what I mean? I have to keep winning right. Not with emotional abuse, not with being loud, not with being, not with a Ferrari, you know
Correct.
what I mean? You have to win by winning the good fight. You know what I mean? Not taking shortcuts.
No, like, I'm about being on your hustle, being on your grind. I'm not very public about what it is that I'm doing. Very few people know like what I'm actually.
You're not flexing.
No, I don't need to.
Yep.
Because there will come a moment where maybe I'm sitting down and someone else will acknowledge me, and then everyone else will be like, "Oh, damn, she's doing that." Yeah. But to me, it's what I expect of myself.
Right.
This is where I'm supposed to be.
And nobody can expect that from you if you don't expect it from yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get like that occasional like, oh wow, like, okay, I see you kind of moment. But at the end of the day, it's like I need to go home. And I've said this before, like at the end of the day, there is no support system.
Right.
I go home and I look at myself and I say, did we do the damn thing today?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's what it is. I feel like we got off like on a tangent there.
Why?
From like our topic. But I mean, because like we're different from the norm that exists here, I feel like it's important for people to acknowledge or to understand like where we're coming from.
Yeah, well the thing is we're both alphas.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for us to kind of have this conversation because we're both alphas, and the worst part is betas are going to disagree. And because
that's okay.
That's what betas do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. So we have to bring it up to dating culture because that's what happens. Is a beta meets an alpha, and it's just like it's not working out. It's just not working out.
Yeah.
It's just not working out. Yeah.
People get hurt because they don't know how to handle it.
They do. They get hurt, and I don't want to say it's out of their control because it's not. It's in their control, but a lot of them don't know any better.
That's how they want it. To a certain extent, that's how they want it.
So, to end this episode, at what time we're at? We're at 33.
Ooh.
To end this episode, what is something that you want to end this with?
Like I would like to see people be more self-aware with themselves. Because I've gone on quite a few dates, right, where people would be like, oh my God, like you're amazing, you're this, you're that. And thank you for the compliment. But I need you to turn around and ask yourself, am I giving this to myself? Start creating that self-love. You know what I mean? Because you shouldn't have a partner. I mean, it's important to like want someone and like value them and like think the most of them, right?
Of course.
But you need to be doing that for yourself as well.
Yes. It's a challenge, especially when you weren't raised to think that way. Right, to be that way. Most people, especially down here in the valley, they're raised the opposite, and it's a challenge. Nobody's going to teach you how to love yourself but yourself. It's terrifying almost. There's plenty of times where I've been scared of how I felt for one of my projects or one of the endeavors that I'm going to take, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Do it.
I've got my own back.
Yeah.
That is all the support that I need. So I agree. I think that's a great ending point. Is at the end of the day, you just gotta be yourself. If you're a simp, hey, simp out, bro. Like
if you're gonna be a simp, be a full out simp.
Yeah, you be yourself, because you'll encounter a wonderful woman that likes you for that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Not everybody needs to be an alpha.
Right. Exactly. No, not everybody needs to be an alpha. It's not for everyone. It's exhausting.
It is.
It's a never-ending battle. The day you win as an alpha is the day you die.
Absolutely.
It's the day you die. Then that's it. You won. You won the good fight. You're off this planet. You're good. But it's not for everybody. So if you're just if that life is just not for you, be yourself. Be yourself the best of your ability.
Absolutely.
I agree. Great episode.
I'm with it.
Yes.